Hello student, good morning. Today we will start the life cycle Trichinella spiralis. Trichinella spiralis. Morphology of Trichinella spiralis and general distribution. Trichinella spiralis infection is one helminthic infection of man that is more prevalent in the advanced scientists of Europe and the United States than anywhere else. It is endemic throughout the Arctic, but up to comparatively recently it was unknown in tropical African and other tropical areas of the world. Still, in 1976, and Stille and Arambulo and Moon in 1976 have reviewed the worldwide distribution of the parasite. Ever since Forrester, Nelson and Sander in 1961 reported the isolated outbreak of trichinosis in Kenya as the first record of human trichinosis in Africa. South of the Sahara, most authorities have accepted that the disease must be widespread in tropical Africa. In spite of this widely held belief, only a few cases of human trichinosis have up till now been reported from tropical Africa. In fact, it is fair to say that the information to go on the derives tropical and subtropical. From reports of isolated and sporadic outbreak mainly, one in Kenya, one in Tanzania, and one from Dakar, Senegal. Some of the reasons adduced for this include poor diagnostic facilities, difficulty of diagnosis, and possibility of overlooking of misdiagnosis the disease because its symptoms are similar to those of other tropical infections, which is all very well, but medical services have improved and a service which has been able to diagnose such a wide array of parasitic infections throughout the continent could not have failed to throw up trichinosis if it were anything but the disease of extreme rarity that it is. The incidence of trichinosis in wild animals in tropical Africa is, however, another matter because high prevalences have been reported in surveys in Kenya by Nelson, Gugisberg, and Mukundi in 1963. In Tanzania, by such 1970, and in Sengele by Grittilate 1970. Grittilate and Chevalier in 1970, and Grittilate and Vacillades in 1967. Trichinella is the only genus of the family Trichinellidae of the order Trichurate, and for a long time it is It was considered to monospecific, consisting of the single species Trichinella spiralis. Many strains or biological races of this species have been recognized, differing in their degrees of infectivity in various experimental hosts, their pathogenicity, and in other physiological features. Though they are morphologically indistinguishable, many authors recognize these merely as strains while others have elevated them to specific status. Trichinella spiralis for the north temperature strain, Trichinella nelsoni for the tropica, and Trichinella nativa for Arctic strains, and even a fourth species Trichinella pseudospiralis. The controversy of the speciation of Trichinella is very interesting, but beyond the scope of this book. Sokodeva and Mirovich in 1977 have presented fresh experimental evidences which tends to support the existence of three species, suggesting that they are incipient species on the way to becoming completely separated as a result of their geographical and hostile isolation. Matson in 1976, on the other hand, in a most interesting review, show that there is insufficient scientific evidences to justify the creation of new species whose deception do not in any respect stand up the international code. Morphology of Trichinella spiralis. Morphology of Trichinella spiralis. Trichinella spiralis, that is the Trichinella spiralis is nematode parasite of man. Trichinella spiralis shows most of the features of the order Trichurate, stichocytes, lack of spicules in males, single female gonad, terminal anus, etc. Size, its size is, it is the smallest human nematode parasite, male measuring 1.4 to 1.6 millimeter and females 3.0 to 4.0 millimeter in length. The whip-like appearance characteristic of the order is not so marked, the body merely tapering towards the anterior end. Male has two large papillae, female are viviparous. The posterior part of the uterus is filled with developing eggs, while the anterior portion contains hatched larvae. Morphology, that is at the anterior and nerve ring, free part of pharynx, trichosome along rest of the pharynx, vulva, uterus with young oviduct, intestine, ovary, union of sperm duct with intestine, and at the posterior side anus, papillae on male tail, sperm duct, testes, intestine, nerve ring, free part of the pharynx. All these are organs in the male and female, and this nematode is the dioecious in nature. Male and female individuals are separated. that is the bisexual or dioecious. Unisexual. Life cycle. This is the morphology is completed.